Around 23,000 years ago, nomadic peoples in Siberia began a quiet revolution in human-animal relationships. They started tossing leftover food scraps to wild wolves lingering near their camps. Over generations, the less aggressive wolves stayed closer, forming a mutual survival pact with humans. These proto-dogs provided early warning against predators, helped track game, and benefited from a steady food source. Over time, selective breeding, both intentional and accidental, shaped them into companions adapted to human life. Today, dogs are the most variable mammals on Earth, with over 450 breeds recognized by organizations such as the American Kennel Club and the Fédération Cynologique Internationale. Each breed is a living record of the people and places that created it, reflecting the cultural, environmental, and practical needs of its time. This domestication story is not just biological. It's intertwined with the rise and spread of human civilization itself. Labrador Retriever and Canadian origins. The Labrador Retriever, the most popular dog breed in countries like the US and UK, traces its roots to the now extinct St. John's water dog of Newfoundland. Bred by fishermen, these hardy dogs retrieved fish and nets from icy waters. Their temperament and skill made them so admired that some were brought to Britain, where selective breeding refined the modern lab. A related lineage produced the Newfoundland dog, created by crossing St. John's water dogs with the Portuguese water dog from Alentejo, brought by Portuguese fishermen. Newfoundlands became renowned for life-saving. One even accompanied Lewis and Clark, aiding their expedition. Meanwhile, a shipwrecked pair of St. John's water dogs off Maryland bred with local dogs, producing the Chesapeake Bay Retriever, famed for cold water duck hunting. Golden Retriever and Spaniel history. The Golden Retriever also descends from the St. John's water dog, crossed with various water spaniels during its development in Britain. Spaniels themselves have an ancient history, with origins likely in Spain or from spaniel-like hunting dogs brought to the British Isles by Celtic migrants as early as 900 BC. Early British literature describes agile hunting dogs known as Agassians, possible ancestors of modern spaniels. By the 1500s, spaniels were bred in Britain for specific hunting roles. Smaller pups from litters became cocker spaniels, adept at flushing woodcock, while larger pups grew into Springer Spaniels, tasked with driving game into the open. In the 20th century, American and British Cocker Spaniels diverged into separate breeds, with the American variety topping popularity charts in the 1940s, 1950s, and 1980s. Giant hunting dogs and Great Dane lineage. Before firearms, hunting large game like boar or even bears required immense strength and courage from dogs. These holding dogs would seize prey and restrain it until hunters arrived. In the mid-16th century, German breeders began refining such dogs, importing massive hounds from Britain, likely similar to Irish wolfhounds and English mastiffs, and selectively breeding them for size, power, and stamina. The result was the Great Dane, a formidable boarhound that could run with horses and withstand dangerous encounters. Though bred for hunting, their imposing size and noble appearance also made them status symbols among European aristocracy. Over time, as boar hunting declined, the Great Dane transitioned into a companion and guard dog, maintaining its reputation as one of the largest and most majestic dog breeds in the world. Scent hounds and tracking breeds. For hunters on foot, dogs that could follow a scent trail were far more valuable than sheer size. The bloodhound, developed in Britain from the Belgian St. Hubert hound, became legendary for its ability to track over vast distances, even used to find criminals. In France, selective breeding produced the Basset hound, whose short legs kept them close to the ground for den hunting. Germany created the Dachshund, or badger warrior, from terriers, pinschers, and hounds designed to dig out burrowing animals. Early dachshunds were twice their modern size and even hunted wild boar in packs. Their curved tails served a practical purpose, allowing hunters to pull them from tunnels if stuck. These scent hounds combined specialized anatomy with unwavering focus, making them indispensable for tracking both game and, at times, people. Corgi origins and folklore. The Welsh Corgi's beginnings are wrapped in legend. According to folklore, 2 children lost in a forest were given corgis by fairies to guide them home. The dogs supposedly served as mounts for fairy warriors, with the rough patch of fur on their backs marking the saddle. Beyond myth, corgis were practical herding dogs, low to the ground for nipping at cattle's heels. Over centuries, they became deeply tied to Welsh rural life. Royal attention brought them global fame, particularly through Queen Elizabeth II, who kept more than 30 Pembroke Welsh Corgis during her reign. Their blend of working dog grit and charming personality made them both functional farm helpers and beloved companions, cementing their place as one of the most recognizable breeds worldwide. Pomeranian and toy breed popularity. The Pomeranian, despite its name, may not have originated in Pomerania, a historical region of Germany and modern-day northwest Poland, but was extensively bred there. Originally much larger, these Spitz-type dogs were used for herding and sled pulling before being miniaturized into companion animals. Their transformation accelerated during the Victorian era when Queen Victoria, an avid dog enthusiast, acquired an exceptionally small Pomeranian. This sparked a breeding trend that halved the breed's average size during her reign. Similar in purpose, Bichon-type dogs, descended from the French Barbet water dog, were kept by nobility for entertainment and as diplomatic gifts. The Bichon Frise, developed on Tenerife in the Canary Islands, enjoyed waves of courtly popularity before becoming a circus performer, thanks to its intelligence, agility, and endearing, fluffy appearance. Dalmatians, Maltese, and island breeds. Dalmatians hail from Croatia's Dalmatia region, documented as early as 1374. Valued for intelligence and striking spots, they served as carriage dogs in Regency Britain, both guarding and showing off wealth. The Maltese may trace back to Croatia's Millet Island, or ancient Malta, with amphorae and Aristotle's writings depicting similar lapdogs. Modern Maltese likely descend from Bichon types. Across the Atlantic, Spanish colonists brought Bichons to Cuba, creating the Havanese. Once a symbol of wealth, the breed nearly vanished during the 1950s Cuban Revolution, surviving only through a handful smuggled to the U.S., where preservation efforts eventually revived the lineage. Impact of colonization on native breeds. Before European arrival, the Americas had their own distinct dog populations, but most vanished after colonization. Modern New World breeds like the Chihuahua and the Zoloites Quintly retain only a small fraction, around 3 to 4%, of pre-contact genetics. Similarly, in Africa, the fierce guard dogs of the nomadic Khoi people were nearly lost after Dutch settlers brought European dogs to the Cape Colony. The Rhodesian Ridgeback emerged from mixing native African dogs with imported breeds, yet only about 4% of its DNA remains African. Colonization reshaped canine genetics, often erasing ancient lineages while introducing new traits through crossbreeding with foreign dogs. Japanese breeds and preservation efforts. Japan's native breeds, including the Shiba Inu and Akita Inu, once faced near extinction. After the Meiji Restoration in the late 19th century, Western dogs were imported and crossbred with local lines, diluting pure genetics. By the 1920s, purebred Shibas and Akitas were rare, but preservationists worked to restore them, valuing their cultural significance. Akitas as samurai companions and Shibas as loyal hunters. World War II and a post-war canine distemper outbreak devastated these efforts, yet both breeds survived. Today, the Shiba is Japan's most popular dog and ranks among the top 50 in the U.S., a symbol of resilience and heritage. Chinese court breeds. Many prized lapdogs trace back to Chinese nobility, where breeds like the Shih Tzu, Lhasa Apso, and Pug were treasured status symbols. Shih Tzus likely resulted from crossing Lhasa Apsos, Tibetan indoor guard dogs, with Pekingese, both reserved for royalty and rarely traded. Pugs, recorded in Chinese courts since the Song dynasty around 1000 A.D., were so valued they were guarded by soldiers. The Pekingese, similarly protected, entered Britain only after troops seized 5 during the 1860 looting of Beijing's Summer Palace, gifting 1 to Queen Victoria. These breeds embody centuries of selective breeding for companionship, symbolism, and courtly prestige. Shar-Pei, Chow Chow, and ancient Chinese lineages. The Shar-Pei and Chow Chow share ancient roots, possibly descending from dog types depicted in Han Dynasty art, 202 BC, 220 AD. Both are known for their distinctive blue-black tongues, a trait linked to old Chinese legends of lion-like war dogs. Early Shar-Pei were less wrinkled than in today's version, while the Chow Chow maintained a thick, insulating coat. Historical accounts, including those by Marco Polo, describe large, fluffy dogs pulling sleds in swampy terrain. Genetic studies show these breeds are among the closest living relatives to the extinct Taimyr wolf, reflecting ancient interbreeding between early dogs and wild wolves in northern Asia. Arctic and Siberian breeds. The Siberian Husky, bred by the Chukchi people of eastern Siberia, is closely related to other Arctic sled dogs like the Alaskan Malamute and Greenland Dog, developed by the Thule people in Arctic Canada and Alaska. These breeds evolved for endurance, pulling loads over frozen terrain. The Samoyed, originating with the Samoyedic people, is another ancient sled and herding dog. DNA comparisons from remains 100 to 2,000 years old show a direct lineage to modern Samoyeds. Despite their heavy coats, they're often marketed as hypoallergenic, a claim many experts dispute, yet their friendly nature and striking appearance keep them in high global demand. Poodles, French breeds, and vermin hunters. The poodle's name comes from the Low German Pudeln, meaning to splash, reflecting its role as a water retriever. While its exact origin is debated, Germany or France, it descends from water dogs like the French Barbet. Miniature poodles were bred in France for circus performances, valued for intelligence and agility. The French Bulldog emerged from English Bulldogs crossed with French Ratters. In England, the Yorkshire Terrier was developed to hunt vermin in textile mills, combining small size with fierce determination. Each of these breeds showcases how selective breeding shaped dogs for specialized work, from aquatic retrieval to pest control in urban environments. Shepherd breeds and misleading names. The German Shepherd, developed in late 19th century Germany, was bred for intelligence, strength, and herding ability, quickly becoming a premier working dog for police and military use. Despite its name, the Australian Shepherd originated in the United States, particularly California, during the 19th century. Likely descended from Basque herding dogs brought via Australia, it was refined for managing livestock in the American West. Both breeds excel in trainability and versatility, thriving in roles from herding to search and rescue. Their names, however, reflect romanticized or historical associations rather than accurate geographic origins, illustrating how breed histories can often be misunderstood or oversimplified.